Welcome to Mediaspace Members Daily. We bring you exclusive interviews from our leadership group and other professional influencers within the media, marketing, gov, tech community globally. Today I have with me Farrell Tan, founding partner at Orchan Consulting, one of Malaysia's fastest growing independent PR agencies. Hi Farrell, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Great to have you with us. What are the main challenges in public relations in Asia?
So I think depending on where you're from in Asia, I think the challenges are different. But I think one of the most common things that brands tend to underestimate is how diverse Asia is. You know, a lot of them fall into the trap of treating each country within the region to be the same, rather than considering the vast cultural differences between each of them and how these markets or media actually operate. As you know, I mean, markets can vary significantly from country to country. And I think businesses need to understand that is what is required for each of this particular region. And, obviously that being the case, the biggest challenge is language. If you look at India itself, there are about 20 languages spoken across India. I think there are about more than 10 languages spoken in Southeast Asia daily. And I think there are about 8 to 10 dialects spoken in China or even in North Asia. So which presents, complications for Western brands that may not have a local presence. The good thing about it is that, English is still fairly popular and is spoken quite widely within Asia Pacific, specifically in countries like India and Southeast Asia, like Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, or even Australia and New Zealand. So whilst it's not spoken everywhere, a lot of, it is spoken quite widely, and the comprehension is increasing every single year. So businesses can sort of like get away with it by coming up with English content. And I think one of the other challenges that we have to look into, or for brands to look into, is the fact that media and of course even key influencers within the region have become over the years more inward looking. In terms of their approach and in terms of their search for content. So I guess for brands, in order for them to get anywhere within the region, they need to address local issues, they need to showcase local stories or case studies or even proof points. So, working partnerships with huge global brands are very important, but there has to be a localized element to it, to the PR or even to the marketing activity, for it to actually resonate with people within Asia. But I think the biggest challenge for Asia, not only Asia, but I think globally, is the fact that it's changed. It's changing so quickly. It's basically keeping up with change. And I think that the next challenge is actually finding skilled or even knowledgeable workforce to help agencies guide through this transformation.
What are the main opportunities in public relations in Asia?
I think the biggest opportunity for PR agencies in Asia specifically, or I think globally, to be honest, is the fact that the way marketers are marketing has changed. I think gone are the days where the typical PR tactics, TV, print, radio, or outdoor brands are only utilized, right? So I think a lot more emphasis is being put on alternative ways of marketing, and because of that, there has been the shift has put a renewed sort of like evaluation of how PR can take a slightly bigger role within the whole marketing mix. We are also seeing a major merging of both PR and of course the internet. I guess the merging of PR tactics and of course the usage of internet marketing tactics. Obviously, social media, the rise of social media and the different platforms. And venues for clients to basically have dialogues with their various stakeholders. I think, to be honest, I think we're sort of operating in one of the most dynamic and transparent business environment in history, I think, at this stage. And but having said all that, our biggest opportunity is also our biggest challenge. I think it's up to us to educate clients about the potential of social media, the pros and cons of how it can help or it can harm brands. But having said that, I think we first need to educate ourselves. So we need to make sure that we understand the landscape, we understand what's new and what's hot, literally, and and after which we need to position ourselves as sort of like a resource to help clients embrace and leverage the web as a platform to communicate directly and of course efficiently with their various stakeholders. And I think lastly, we need to have a lot more, I would say, courage, in the sense that, courage to present to clients ideas that transcends specific sort of disciplines. I think we need to come up with ideas that are more integrated in the sense that, you have a bit of advertising, a little bit of online, a bit of promotions, direct marketing, direct response, and of course PR, right? And I think if we can sort of bolder our thinking and also our approach to communications, I think we could be, the agency, or we could be the ones that clients or companies go to for innovation and for fresh ideas.
What's your advice for the global PR industry?
Well, I think my advice is the fact that, we right now, we have the chance to, for the very first time, I would say, to be the primary source of ideas for our clients. For many, many years, ad agencies have been the first stop for creative concepts, right? And, but given the changes in media environment, that's, I guess, no longer the case. The walls between various functions of communication functions are falling down, they're crumbling. And I think clients are kind of like looking for new ways to reach their audiences. And I don't think they really care where these ideas come from. So I think it's an opportunity for PR agencies to move into the driver's seat and to deliver thinking on a slightly bigger scale that transcends what we're traditionally known for, which is basically, media relations PR, the typical stuff, I would say. And, I think my advice is also the fact that in order for PR people or PR agencies to be successful, we need to venture we need to venture outside of the box as much as it's a cliche. And I think the focus on creativity has to apply to the people that we already have and the people that we also hire. So I think, with a lot of, like the ad agencies that have come before us, I think we need to recognize, we need to nurture, and we also need to reward creativity. The same way that, we've rewarded for people within our industry, which is media relations, writing, and, the typical PR stuff. So I guess in a nutshell, PR agencies need to reinvent themselves, with skills, with knowledge, and the people to basically provide broader, more measurable services in order to stay relevant.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Mediaspace Members Daily. In the meantime, connect with us at mediaspace.global.